Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Transfer Update, episode number 11. Why am I smiling? That's not funny. It's funny to me because we haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks. The season's kind of kicked into gear. I've had a child, and the last transfer update was a fair wee while ago. But you know what we try and do with these transfer updates here on the channel? We try and talk to you about every player that comes into the Championship during each window. So, by way of a catch-up, we have 31 transfers to talk about. Normally, these shows are, 8, 10, 12 transfers. But a lot has gone on. But I want to get everything updated as we go past the game week round number 5 into the transfer deadline, Monday, Tuesday, crazy time. I want to get caught up. That's what we're going to try and do. Now, as ever on these shows, we talk about players coming into the Championship. We're not going to talk about the big outs. I know sort of Ramsdale and Danjuma is a lot of money, but we're going to focus on the players coming in. Okay, I want to get your feedback on the signings. If you support the club the player's gone to, or the player's left, or you just want to comment on the player and how he fits in at the new club, then great. We don't get too bogged down about figures, numbers. Maybe I'll accept a chief exec of a club correcting me on a figure, but if not, we're just going to worry about what the player is going to do. Let's get into this, because like I said, I've got 31. I've already babbled for about 2 minutes. So let's start off. We're going to work our way down the table, and that is Rodrigo Muniz, who is a 20-year-old Brazilian striker who's come in from Flamengo for 5 years. Club has an option for a 6th year. There you go. Fulham are definitely doing a good job of pacing out those transfer fees and getting them split across many years. Again, let's not speculate on how transfer fees are spread out. If you don't know, you don't know. Muniz, well, who knows, hey? Transfermarkt are reporting £7 million for this player who you would think has been bought to play in the Premier League, right? A 20-year-old Brazilian. In Championship terms, Fulham obviously have Mitrovic. They've been playing one up top. They've got plenty of sort of supporting figures off that. So I would imagine Rodrigo Muniz would have a fair while integrating himself in. My knowledge of Brazilian football is not great, but this definitely looks like a project. However, if you're dropping that amount of money, there must be something there with this player. So excited to see when he appears in the Championship and what he does. Get your comments in on Rodrigo Muniz to Fulham. On we go. Another Year 1 parachute team. Another striker. It's Jordan Hugill, who we're very familiar with. 29 years old. Is coming in on loan from Norwich. Now, Norwich bought Hugill in basically as sort of a squad player. A plan B if it wasn't working for Teemu Pukki up top and the way they wanted to play. Bit of physicality maybe. And they didn't need him, did they? Norwich, Pukki never gets injured in the Championship, does he? And scored another sort of 25 goals or something, didn't he? So, Hugill, good player to have around, good physicality. Will he get more minutes for West Brom? Who knows? Look, they play 3 up top, so there are more options there. A lot of people are kind of very interested to see the long throw-in and the direct style and those excellent set plays for West Brom with someone like Hugill on the end. But Dean Garner, Grant, Robinson, it's already a good front 3 for West Brom. But I think given it's a loan and they'll be able to afford salary there at West Brom, they're a Year 1 parachute team, just relegated down, makes sense to get Hugill in there. Extra body, experienced. I think it's a good sign, and let me know what you think in the comments. And we will move on to a couple of players who have obviously both made their debuts here. Leo Ostigard and Romain Sawyers in at Stoke City. Now, Ostigard, of course, a centre-half, is on loan from Brighton, who just seem to collect centre-backs, don't they? Who seem to have a plethora of them, and able to, even after selling Ben White to Arsenal for 50 million quid, Østigard has already played and already scored and already made an impact at Stoke. He's joined up in that back three with Wilmot and Suter. He knows the Championship. He's young. That looks like a smart bit of business, and no disrespect to any Coventry fans watching, he'll see that as moving up to a team that, well, they're doing decent at the moment. They're third in the league at time of recording. So that makes sense. Romain Sawyers is an interesting one, isn't it? Very languid, kind of deep-lying playmaker who sort of found fame, so to speak, in Championship terms at Brentford in a sort of 4-1-4-1 where he had a lot of space to sit back and coolly stroke the ball around. Went off to West Brom, was part of an important recruitment drive there that ultimately got Slaven Bilic and West Brom promoted. He sort of arrived with Ajayi and Pereira that summer, didn't he? And pretty much played all season and didn't do anything in the Premier League. So you would hope that the pace that Stoke play at is suitable for Sawyers. They do have good central midfielders. They brought Vrancic in there. Powell is obviously very good. Klukas has cost lots of money in his time. Joe Allen as well. So plenty of central midfielders. Look like they're going to play in midfield three. I like Sawyers. I think West Brom fans went off him a bit last season. But again, could be an interesting one there. Let me know what you think on that one. Speaking of Coventry, two in there. We can deal with Danny Cashman on the right-hand side because since he's gone in, he's already gone out again and loaned to Rochdale, 20-year-old striker. Where did they get him from? Rising through the ranks with the... following his departure from Premier League side Brighton. There we go, another Brighton link after Østigard. But yeah, Cashman is already out on loan at Rochdale, so we're unlikely to see him very soon. We have already seen Jake Clark-Salter, and this is kind of all fitting together the jigsaw of Østigard, really, isn't it? Because essentially it's his replacement. Coventry had Østigard last season. He's gone to Stoke, as you've just seen. They play three at the back. Cov, so 23-year-old Clark-Salter in on loan from Chelsea. We've seen him at Birmingham before. He knows the Championship, and those Chelsea players tend to be very well trained. However, when they reach 23 and they're still being loaned down, you kind of think you might have a chance of getting them if you can do a couple of loans. Not like a Mark Guay loaned from Chelsea to Swansea, and then in the end, out he goes for a big fee to Palace. So I suspect Clark-Salter will join that back three for the season, and we'll see where he ends up long term. Not sure about the contract length there. Let's move on. Oh, this is all beautifully linked, isn't it? There's another ex-Chelsea centre back there. It's Gary Cahill, who is 35 years old. Look at that, 620 appearances. That guy's got some medals as well, Gary Cahill. Experienced centre-half going into Bournemouth. Now, I know no one's really on John Terry's level in terms of Premier League centre-halves, but he came down and played for Aston Villa, got to the playoff final as well, didn't he, John Terry? I suppose Scott Parker would like a similar kind of influence. Maybe I don't know whether he'll play as much as John Terry did. He pretty much played all the time for Aston Villa, didn't he? But Cahill, they've got obviously Steve Cook back there as an experienced centre-half, but I don't know, people like Chris Mepham, Lloyd Kelly will do well from having Gary Cahill around, and assuming the wages aren't too eye-watering. Another, in the words of Jordan Hugel, we used to describe, another good guy to have around. Different end of the career is Morgan Rogers. You can see in the middle there. 19 years old, a winger on loan from Manchester City. Now, of course, Arnaut Danjuma has just gone out to Villarreal for, we think, the thick end of 20 million quid. Stanislas is there. Brooks is there in terms of wide players. And the interesting one is young Jaden Anthony. So it looks like they've got four players for those wide positions up front. Maybe the two youngsters are on the left-hand side and the more experienced Brooks and Stanislas for the right-hand side. Not to say that Brooks is any age particularly, but Rogers on loan from Manchester City did very well at Lincoln last season with sort of Brennan Johnson, who's gone back to Forest. Michael Appleton, the manager there, took them to the playoff final. It's the step up now for Rodgers, aged 19. Jack Harrison was a loanee from Manchester City on the wing into the Championship, and that turned out pretty nicely for Leeds. Let's see how Morgan Rodgers does. And there is Iain Neeland. Not sure what to think of this guy, 30-year-old keeper. He sort of was at Villa for a while, wasn't he? And played a few games and then was dropped out of the team, basically. Villa took a while to find a keeper, a couple of seasons, in fact, to find a keeper under... They didn't get promoted with Jed Steer, I think, in the end. If they've landed on Emi Martinez now, they're fine. Anyway, we're talking about Neeland. Where's he been since? Norwich, wasn't he, as well? And I think he played for Bournemouth at Norwich already, and they got beat 6 in the League Cup. So I know the Freddie Woodman rumours won't go away for Bournemouth, but you think Neeland is not there as a first team. I know Travers has played a few games so far. So yeah, let me know how you think that one plays out with Neeland and obviously Rodgers and Cahill in Bournemouth. Here's a couple in at Blackburn. God, finally, I saw the blue and white. We have Ian Poveda on the left and Leighton Clarkson on the right. Poveda apparently has fallen out, if you believe what you read on the internet, with Marcelo Bielsa. He came in, which season was it? 1920. It wasn't the season they went up, was it? Maybe it was the season before then. He came in at the end of that season as a possible strengthener to try and get Leeds over the line. Or was it the season they did go up? I can't remember. Anyway, he got brought in to Leeds. Didn't really get anywhere near starting any games. Used as a substitute a few times. Got quite a high calibre Poveda. He's been at like Arsenal and I think like Barcelona or some crazy clubs for sure. Manchester City as well, possibly Poveda, but doesn't seem to settle anywhere. So in he goes to have a go at settling at Blackburn. So does Leighton Clarkson, who's another loanee following the Harvey Elliott line from Liverpool. Another youngster there. I think he's already made his debut in the number 10 position. If he's anywhere near as good as Harvey Elliott, he'll be doing all right. Harvey Elliott started for Liverpool already in the league. So a couple of loanees hardly breaking the bank now, given Adam Armstrong has been sold and Rovers have some money in the coffers from that deal. And before anyone comments, yes, I know Newcastle got 40% of it. That doesn't mean Blackburn don't have any money. Everyone seems to comment that whenever we mention Armstrong. We know. And we know also that Middlesbrough have brought in 3 of late. Look, there's Sol Bamba and Neil Warnock up the top. And obviously great news. Sol Bamba had some very bad health problems. We thought he might be done actually with football. But it's no surprise that he's landed with Neil Warnock, who's had him at a couple of clubs, hasn't he? And was promoted with Bamba at Cardiff, where even saw him playing central midfield. Warnock trusts Bamba very, very much. And wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of him actually this season, Sol Bamba in that Borough team at the venerable age of 36 on a free transfer. Luke Daniels has gone in there. Warnock can't seem to settle on a goalkeeper at Borough, can he? He's got Lumley in. I guess Daniels is in as the backup. He's been all over the place. I think he was in Brentford most recently. 33 years old, free transfer. I suspect Lumley has got this shirt, but hey, we'll see. It's the Championship. There is Toyosi Olasanya, who is a striker, signed on a 2-year deal, 23 years old, from Billericay Dickey, as Ian Jury said. They'll hope he's a Billericay superstar on the Billericay Dickey. Bit of a sort of project, sort of non-league player coming in. We'll see. Basically see how he trains and if he can sort of trouble the attacking players there at Middlesbrough and get anywhere near the squad. You never know. What's the worst that can happen, hey? So 3 into Borough and plenty into Derby. Obviously, look, a few of these have gone through and obviously made debuts and whatnot. It is Phil Jagielka, Sam Bullock, Ryan Alsop, Curtis Davies and Richard Stearman. And this is just basically Rooney and Derby padding the squad with as many experienced free transfers as they can. Given that's pretty much all they can do. They're quite good deals. Davis has obviously, I think he's played every minute, hasn't he? Aged 36. Their man is 34 and Jagielka is 39. Baldock has played and scored a winning goal at Hull, of course. All sub, I don't think has got ahead of Ruth, has he? Or did he play in the League Cup? Derby fans will let me know. They have, of course, as well, brought in Ravel Morrison, who absolutely no manager has been able to get a tune out of. Honestly, if you're a Derby fan, what else can you do, really? Given the to-in and throw-in with the EFL and embargoes, soft embargoes, transfer fees, not really going to be a thing at Derby. Don't really see what else they can do. And he's, for as little money as possible, he's got as much experience as he can. So let me know what you think. And a few of those have had a reasonable start to the season. How many games you'll get out of particularly those older players this season, we will find out. But I will reiterate, what else are you supposed to do in terms of recruitment at Derby at the moment? Here's a couple in at Swansea. Obviously, I'm very familiar with Flynn Downs as an Ipswich fan. Ethan Laird has gone in as well. Downs was a bit of a rising star at Ipswich. 2017, he made his debut as a real youngster, bustling midfielder, loves a tackle. As Ipswich disintegrated from McCarthy into Hurst into Lambert and were relegated out of the league, the players that jumped ship, that got fees in for Ipswich, I say jump ship, players that managed to get out at the right time, sort of Martin Waghorn and Adam Webster, Joe Garner, etc., Dave McGoldrick. They were the first out, and Flynn Downs stayed. And we expected a fair bit out of youngsters like Downs and Dazelle and Wolfenden at Ipswich. It's not been a good place to ply your trade. Bids for Downs by Crystal Palace last summer were rejected, and pretty much from there it looked like he kind of was a player who wanted out. And he's finally got the deal now. Ipswich's got the new owners, lots of money and lots of players coming in there. Downs goes out to Swansea, undisclosed. I've heard different reports. Again, you don't know, do you? Don't correct me. I won't even say what fee I think it is. But yeah, if you can show me an email from the Swansea chief exec with the deal memorandum on, I'll believe you. But let's just assume probably a reasonably healthy fee paid for Flynn Downs. Good luck to him, actually. I like the player who's going to play central midfield. For Swansea, Ethan Laird, Russ Martin likes, because he had him on loan from Manchester United at MK Dons last season. Right wing back, pretty decent physicality. Debut, clean sheet and a win. I think he might have played the week before that, actually. But my first eyes on him were in the game against Bristol City, and he played and he did okay in that one. See what happens when Connor Roberts gets back. But the player's known to the manager that's there, so probably a bit of a no-brainer to bring Laird in at Swansea. Here's a couple in for Posh. There's Oliver Norburn on an undisclosed, and Posh fans will know he's already made 3 starts for the Posh, 28 years old, in from Shrewsbury. Undisclosed, experienced sort of central midfield player, I think, Norburn. So just ready to go straight away and already playing at championship level. There is Kobe J. Chong on the right. Again, that is a project one. He's gone into the under-23s there from Spalding United. So we expect we'll see more of Norburn than Kobe J. Chong. Although if he's any good as the Chong, or anywhere near as good as the Chong that plays for Birmingham, I'm sure he'll be in the team fairly soon because he's very good. Let me know what you think, particularly of Norburn into the Posh. 3 in to Reading, including 1 today. Junior Hoylett has gone in. I don't believe he's had any involvement yet. I was surprised he's only 31. I was expecting him to be about 35 or something. He seems to have been around for years, doesn't he, with Blackburn and QPR. And like Sol Bamba, who we talked about, was actually a pretty important player in Cardiff's promotion from the Championship in the 17-18 season. I assume that's a legacy contract that Cardiff couldn't afford to keep. Surprised Warnock didn't go for him, but there you go. And Hoylett winds up at Reading. Winger, can play either side of those inside forward positions. Paunovic loves the 4-2-3-1, doesn't he? Maite, not around at the moment. Ajaria, not around at the moment. Aluko, gone, off to my lot, Ipswich. Aziz has done well and scored a couple of goals so far, but they did seem to be a bit lacking in those areas. So maybe we will see Hoylett sooner or later, although in the end you'd expect it to be Ajaria and Maite in the wide positions. But in between them may well be Alen Halilovic, who you can see on the right-hand side, just arrived today. We're recording Friday the 27th. Here, Halilovic was at Birmingham last season. It's sort of a number 10. I think John Swift's got that role tied down, but it's another option, isn't it, for Paunovic? And again, some pedigree there. Barcelona and AC Milan. Was at Birmingham last season. They haven't kept him, so who knows? But there was a lot of excitement when he went into Birmingham. I'm sure there'll be excitement now he goes into Reading. Quite how it stacks up when John Swift is already the top goal contributor in the Championship with 2 goals and 3 assists in the first 4 rounds, I don't know. That's someone to shift, and Reading fans will hope he's been brought in alongside Swift rather than any kind of replacement if a big bid comes in for John Swift. There is Tom Dele-Bashiru, who's come in from Watford on loan as well. Central midfielder. Do seem to be stocking up in those areas a little bit. The thing with Reading is Rinomhota and Laurent, you're not going to budge them. Maybe he'll go to a 4-3-3 or something, and there will be an extra central midfield spot. But it does seem to be spots that are already full, doesn't it? With Dele-Bashiru and Halilovic, with Laurent, Rinomhota and Swift in the sort of double pivot and the number 10 roles. But well, you let me know how it would be used, Reading fans. Dele-Bashiru in on loan from Watford. Moving on, we are nearly through. How many have we got to go? Got about 5 to go, guys. We'll do it. Tom Huddlestone and Matt Smith into Hull. Huddlestone obviously was at Hull in the Premier League, wasn't he? And then went off to Derby. Re-signs back for Hull. Look, he was never that mobile right through his career at Spurs or at Hull or at Derby or what have you. Again, though, I think he falls into the good guy to have around category, doesn't it? If you want to be bustling for 90 minutes on a Tuesday night in the Championship, maybe he's not your guy. But if you are away and you've got the lead on a Tuesday night in the Championship, you want to keep the ball and see the game out, stick him in. Calming influence will organise people around him. How old is he? 34, free transfer. Makes sense, knows the club. In goes Huddlestone. And there is Matt Smith. We seem to deal with a lot of Matt Smiths when we deal with the Championship, don't we? 21 years old, loan from Manchester City. I think I'm right in saying that. Another one in from Manchester City on loan. He's already made 2 starts, so he will be utilised. He might be the one that starts and Huddlestone comes in and finishes the game. So, it makes sense to take these high calibre. They've already got the keeper in from Chelsea as well, haven't they? Hull, makes sense to take these players if you can get them on loan, and that's how Matt Smith comes in to Hull. Let me know what you think on those 2. There is Ben Davies into Sheffield United. Yes, we are going down the table, so you might think this sort of bigger name player should have been closer to the start of the video, but hey, we're just going to work our way down the table. And a bit of a sad prediction come true for Ben Davies. I remember, you can check my video on this actually, when he was sold to Liverpool, there was a bit of a sense that he was just another body to have in if their centre-half crisis got even worse than it already was last season. And it was pretty bad. But I remember him going in at the same time as, I can't remember the lad's name, had lots of K's in it, for quite a lot more money. You think, oh, well, Davies will be there and he'll probably be loaned back to the Championship next season. And of course he has. Good centre-back for Preston, wasn't he, Davies? And actually, no sooner is he there than he started and Sheffield United went back to a back 3. So he may even be in Jack O'Connell's old position in a back 3. Obviously, Jukanovic played back 4 for the first few games. But it's not gone well at Sheffield United. And look, I think the squad does need a regeneration there and new faces. And Davies is most definitely a decent Championship quality centre-half. Let me know what you think on him going into Sheffield United. And here are our last 2. And it's bottom of the league, Nottingham Forest. And a couple of good players, actually. Philip Zinkernagel and James Garner going into Forest. It's easier if we do Garner first because obviously he was there last season. Started last season from Manchester United on loan Watford, Vladimir Ivic didn't really fit in. Cleverly, Chalobah, Hughes, etc. Wasn't used. Went to Forest. He was actually good for Forest. James Garner scored a couple of goals. Had a bit of responsibility there and was kind of able to run things in midfield there on occasion for Forest. I know it's not gone terribly well. I thought they'd be at the head of the line to get him back, being he'd already been there. I think he made his debut or re-debut, new season debut on his second loan in the League Cup. And we may well see him in tomorrow's Brian Clough derby. Might go straight in there with Ryan Yates and Cafu. I know they go midfield 3 or just the 2. Probably just the 2. But it's a good signing that. And Forest the bottom and Garner's done well there before. Philip Zinkernagel I like a lot actually. 26 years old. Into Watford last January with a big reputation as a guy that gets goals and assists. And he was on the pitch for 900 minutes-ish for Watford last season. He got, I think, a goal and 5 assists. He's in at Forest. He's already played a couple of games. Goal and an assist already in 3 games. Forest have only scored 3 goals, so he's been involved in 2/3 of Forest goals so far. He may not do much tracking back, but he'll take loads of set plays. He'll take loads of shots. He'll try loads of key passes. And he'll pull some of them off as well. I like Zinkernagel. He puts numbers on the board. There you go. Sorry, a bit breakneck speed in that transfer update. So, I would love to know your thoughts on these players going in. I know you've got a bit of info. Some of them already debuted. Some of them, frankly, been there for a couple of weeks. But it's been hard to keep up. I think I've just about managed with the actual action after the birth of my beautiful daughter. But we've now caught up, and let me know what you want to see me do for the closing of the transfer window, because believe me, there'll be more than another 30 transfers on Monday and Tuesday next week. What I really love to hear is your thoughts on any of those transfers, how you see them going, what the expectations are for the players, and who's going to do well. Who do you think will be the good transfers in there? 31 of them. Too many to recap, so you just get involved in the comments. That is our transfer update, episode 11. Let me know if I missed anybody out. You can let me know politely as well. You don't have to yell at me in the comments. I think we've got all of them between episode 10 and episode 11. So, yeah, do get involved in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's a lovely big over and out from me. That is your transfer update in the Championship. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.